The SpideyDitko Cup Series presents race number 17. Welcome to Speedway, Indiana for the second running of NASCAR on the Indianapolis Road Course. This Indy Road Course right here was introduced in the early 2000s for the Formula One United States Grand Prix, and ever since then, IndyCar has run the IndyCar Grand Prix on here during the month of May, and now NASCAR has decided to do it as well. Let's have a look at your starting grid, that being the top 10. We got William Byron in the number 24 starting on pole here today. That 24, of course, driven by Jeff Gordon. Won 5 races here in the Brickyard 400. We have Chase Briscoe, his car owner. Tony Stewart has won the Brickyard 400 2 times, back in 05 and 07. Can Chase Briscoe get the win here today? Indiana native. We got Chase Elliott. His dad, Bill, won the Brickyard 400 here back in 2012. And we have Kyle Larson right here. Larson looking for some strong momentum here in today's Indianapolis race here today. And really, Larson is looking for, of course, another crown jewel victory, if you can call this race a crown jewel anymore. Then we have Daniel Suarez in the 99 looking for some momentum going into this race, trying to kick off a very solid season. Now that we're here in the second half, he's trying to get win number 2 of his career. And we got Martin Truex Jr. Martin Truex Jr. still hasn't won yet in 2021. Will that change here today? Will he finally get a Brickyard victory? Who knows? Joe Logano's car owner, Roger Penske, Team Penske, has won the Indy 500, 16, 15, a million times at this point. However, though, Roger Penske does not have a win in NASCAR on the Indy Road on Indianapolis. In the Cup Series, that is. Then we got A.J. Allmendinger, the man who pulled off an amazing upset. However, though, I really don't consider that an upset because A.J. Allmendinger has proven that he is a top Cup driver and that colleague racing can be a top series level team. And then we got Ross Chastain here in the 42. His car owner also, too, has won the Indy 500 multiple times with drivers like Scott Dixon and others who have won this famed Indy race, of course, here today. Ross Chastain looking for some momentum going in. And Cole Custer here today, he will round up the top 10 here today. Cole Custer looking for some momentum going into the second half of the season. Last year, he won at Daytona, a very big race, albeit that being the 400 race. Can he win the Brickyard here today? Looking at your race analysis here today, 32 cars have arrived here today for the Verizon 200 here at the Brickyard. It is a 6-lap race around this 2.439-mile road course. Of course, it is, 200 kilometers, as said before. And driver number 24 is on the pole looking at your track map here today. Of course, the orange outline is to indicate the oval. And as you can see, the NASCAR version of this version of the course is very different from IndyCar and also the way that they run it. Of course, instead of there being a chicane in turn 1, instead it's a hard braking zone going into turn 1, into turns 1 and 2, and then it's a very short straightaway, and then into 3 and 4 they go back up into the banking, up to those short chutes, back up to the banking where they get rather a lot of speed, and then it is 6 and 7, aka IndyCar turn 1 and 2. They of course go back around through 6 and 7, and 7 is the final corner coming down back here to the front stretch. So, of course, this is the second time we're running the oval, and one interesting thing to note here going into this race, and that is Kurt Busch. Of course, as said before, he's starting, Kurt Busch, he's starting a little bit more farther back. Kurt Busch plans actually brought back his Brickyard winning car from last year. Another interesting thing here is that William Byron is running Jimmy Johnson's setup from last year. However, the one thing that he doesn't have is, well, Jimmy Johnson's race car. And that is going to go to Kyle Larson. Um, so yeah, and of course, right here we have the Home Depot Monte Carlo, driven by Tony Stewart. Of course, he made a few laps here today around the famous Brickyard. Of course, Tony Stewart, a native Hoosier. And as his car stands on Victory Lane, the new Victory Lane, that's a rise up. Of course, drivers, last year in the Indy 500, Takuma Sato. And then, of course, this year, Helio Castroneves went up onto that ramp. Who will join those drivers here today as coming out of turn 7, William Byron leads us to the green flag. We are racing in Indy once again. 2, 3 wide from behind. A lot of action going already ahead. William Byron surges off to the lead right here. Oh, look at this. 4 wide there. Oh, a little bit of contact. The 48, that's Alex Bowman getting a little contact right there. William Byron takes us back around to lead lap number 1. And meanwhile here, as all the cars come back, 3 wide action here today, Alex Bowman goes back onto pit road. And he's reported that he had a tire rub coming out of into the infield section. So they're going to look at if there's any suspension damage on that number 48. Alex Bowman had a really difficult season. He wanted to go into this race without having any issues. However, though, already big issues here in the Brickyard today in the Brickyard. Though this 48 team will have to hurry up as the cars, going back around, they're coming as of right now, so he has to beat those cars. There he goes. Bowman goes out of the pits and back out, and there goes his teammate, William Byron, being led by a hungry Kyle Larson and AJ Allmendinger also, too. Here goes Kyle Larson trying to go to Byron's inside right here, as we got a spinner. Oh, up in there. Oh, hard into the wall, into the makeshift wall. It is Brad Keselowski and Ryan Blaney. Oh man, tons of cars collected in this one. And for the second week in a row, the big one strikes going into a very hard braking turn 1. As said before, all the Team Penske cars are out of this race. Well, Roger Penske will not get a NASCAR Brickyard win here today. So Joey Logano, Austin Cindric, Ryan Blaney, Matt DiBenedetto, Christopher Buescher, Eric Jones, Anthony Alfredo, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Ryan Preece, Tyler Reddick, and Austin Dillon. Richard Childs will not get another Brickyard here today. Bubba Wallace and Kevin Harvick. None of those drivers will end up winning here. Harvick was looking for another win in the Brickyard 400, win number 2. And Bubba Wallace, his good runs is coming to an end here. He's been very consistent ever since Gateway. But now that all ends here today. And wow, a lot of good race cars got caught up in this one. So now that we got that cleanup, we're now going to come back around, and we are going to have a green, white, and checkered. Of course, the way this works is that the green and the white flag will be waved at the exact same time, and we will have one more lap to go. And you know one thing for sure, and this next restart is going to be, to say the least, it's going to be interesting, to say the least. So, of course, it's going to be between William Byron and Kyle Larson, and then behind them will be AJ Allmendinger, and then there'll be Chase Elliott behind them as well. You know that Larson wants to go for win number 3 of the season. So, Corvette pace car, of course, has them stationary, and you'll go down to pit road here and in a little bit, and we'll have one more lap to go left here in the Brickyard. Will Rick Hendrick get another Brickyard? Can Chip Ganassi get another Brickyard? Will Joe Gibbs Racing get another Brickyard? Can Colleague Racing get another Brickyard here today. So, we are ready to go. William Byron desperately wants to win. He does not want to finish second here today. He doesn't want to. He's had so many good runs. He's qualified the car up front throughout so many races, but just that car, he couldn't get the results. Here we go. Green-white checkered attempt number 1. Here we go. Boy, Larson, Byron side by side right there. They get an amazing jump as they go up to the straightaway, to the short chute, through turn 7. He's not going to get it. Kyle Larson is going to win the Verizon 200 here in the Brickyard. And it's a Hendrick Motorsports 1, 2, 3, 4 finish here in the Brickyard. Amazing. And Larson, well, we made sure Larson did not burn on any of the bricks down there, but of course, one other thing that is done here differently than other races is, of course, a podium. It's a Hendrick Motorsports podium sweep. Now, that's something that Red Bull and Mercedes would desperately want. I know that's for sure. However, though, we're actually getting something here right now. Something we're actually getting some reports of here is Alex Bowman. Here's the thing. Alex Bowman may not have finished, he may not have finished, third here today. Look, we have this replay here of Alex Bowman and Justin Allgaier taking the oval around the track. Oh, wow. So, now, now this, we haven't heard anything from NASCAR yet. However, though, I don't know if, I'm going to be really damn honest. I have never, ever seen that in my life. Two guys just cutting the corner like that, NASCAR's, I don't even think NASCAR's going to let that slide. However, though, they didn't really state any of those rules in the driver's meeting today. However, though, both Bowman and Justin Allgaier were forced into that situation, and I guess they thought that they can just get back up to the front and all that such. However, though, once they got back onto the racetrack, they then started racing once again. So, actually, we're hearing now from NASCAR that Alex Bowman and Justin Allgaier will keep their positions. So, Alex Bowman will finish third here today, and Justin Allgaier in the number 7 Spire Motorsports Chevrolet will finish, in 6th place. Oh boy, I don't know about you though, but there's going to be a lot of people that aren't going to like that. A lot of people are going to feel like that was just wrong. And I really try to not be biased here, but there really aren't any other rules really to say. However, though, NASCAR, to make sure that I have to, if I were NASCAR, I would make sure that does not happen again. If we come back here next year, we have to make sure that does not happen once again. Now, once again, this isn't a rule, so NASCAR can't really penalize them, to say the least. Now, of course, there are rules if you cut the corner. However, though, this isn't really cutting the corner, really, and to be fair, there were forced down below there, but this is certainly something that NASCAR Twitter ain't gonna like. So, we thank you for watching here at the Brickyard, and coming next weekend, these guys are going to go on once again the road course once again. This time at Elkhart Lake in Road America. We'll see you next time.